Okay, looks like Amon's waiting somewhere through here. You okay? No problem. Just a little tightness in my chest. Because we're trying to go against the curse, right? I guess. At least the weird headaches haven't started yet. Whoa! Instantaneously. So I would just like to take a moment to these things are weird. To discuss a little something that I don't think a lot of people address properly, and that's insanity. And insanity is probably one of the few things that like I am generally afraid of, and I think a lot of people just kind of put it like kind of under the rug because they don't really want to think about it. But insanity really is probably one of the scariest things that could ever happen to you in your entire life. Worse than death, worse than anything else, because like the way I see it, you are essentially not there anymore. You have lost all control of your body and your thought process and everything. And that's the scariest thing to think about, that you cannot function properly. And it's like, how even? Like, are you still even there? Are you still even the same person that you were with insanity? Oh, are you okay? Is that pain really bad? No, it's not so much pain as... You're Karin, right? What do you mean? Of course I'm Karin. What's wrong with you? Oh no, I just couldn't get your name out of all of a sudden. Trying to remember makes my head hurt. Feels like my memory's getting more hazy. Ugh, I feel really sick. Yuri. It's okay if you forget who I am. I'll just give you a slap. That should remind you. I think I'll pass on that. Okay. So we just go further down in. So it's just really something that like kind of like bothers me when people don't give the idea of like you're gonna go insane as like a scary thought, as like it being a fate worse than death, because I think that's far worse to have like you're gonna lose your mind than it is to be like you're gonna die. Because dying is a certainty that everybody has, but insanity is not. I think that's something that really speaks a lot more words than anything else. Anybody will die. It's just a human thing that happens. But to go insane is something not everyone experiences. And whether or not it's for the better, I don't know. But I will say this, it's some scary moments to think about when you hear about mental health and how they keep people in institutions and things like that. And like, it's not like they don't understand everything, they do. They have a point of understanding, they're still trying to figure things out, but like what's actually happening inside their minds, what's going on through them, like they still have feelings, they still have emotions. It may not be as logical, but it is certainly as scary. Just a regular old mirror, I think. Okay. So it's definitely something that just like kind of like I'm actually afraid of like ever happening to me. Like I don't want to ever go insane, like in that big sense of a word and whatnot. And it's something that I think this game probably should have went a little further into detail about. Because it really is, it's super scary to hear that, like, you will lose your mind. That's scary. That is a scary, scary thought. Reminds me of the show, Titus, for those that don't know what the show is about. Basically, a comedian's a life. That's essentially the whole entire thing. So, and he just, like, goes through his life and talks about it, and how he was, like, lived in a pretty abusive relationship, but, like, somehow they made it work together. His father and him. Because, like, his father, like, did love him. As much as his father was a hard ass to him, as much as the father was, like, mean to him, like, he made it work. Like, he showed that he did love his kid. And I'm making it sound a lot more, like, I guess, tragic and serious than what it actually is, because he presents everything to you in a more humorous manner, a far better way to kind of, like, deal with it. And I think a lot of people that go through that kind of stuff go through a lot of hardship. They don't dwell on it as much as you would think. And if you ever meet someone that does dwell on it, they haven't actually gotten done with it. Like, they're not done going through it. I'm not saying, like, tell them to get over it or anything like that. Like, no, man, nah. Like, they still need to get over it. Like, they still need to go with it. They still need help. People that generally have, like, a very bad situation happen to them, they're a lot happier than most people, I feel. And I only say that because I have experience with two people that I am very close with. Very, very close with. And they're both just, they generally see the world as a better place. Maybe not to, like, the utmost degree, like, they're not super optimistic and everything, but, like, they look in life and go, like, hey, you know what, this is gonna happen, oh well, you know? Like, they're not stressing out about it. And that's always kind of given me a rest assured comfort. Because I never really had that hard of life. I never really had that-ness of just whatever. Like, I'll admit, I've been lonely. That there's that. Like, that's just something that everyone, I think, has to deal with every now and again. Now, I'm not saying that, like, they didn't do that either or anything like that. I think everyone goes through a state of loneliness, as I said before. But it's just something kind of interesting that happens, you know? Where, like, they go through this life and they have that feeling of emotion and whatnot. And one of the things that he actually goes through, because the way that he goes about his comedy, Christopher Titus, that's the person that I'm talking about, the show that he made called Titus, you know, after him and whatnot. It's really, 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 just basically him telling jokes and, like, his fears and, like, everything to people so he could get over it himself. So he could say, I survived it, though. Like, I'm a better person for it, though. And I know that, you know, in their screwed up way, my family still cared about me. Like, that's the way what I took from it. And I really like that. And one of the things that he addresses constantly is his fear of going insane. And that's kind of something that hits me, like, really, really deep. Because, like, insanity just isn't treated as such a bad thing, because you're not gonna die. It's not like death or anything like that, but there's the ending, the series finale, which is not actually supposed to be the series finale, but, like, the way that it played off and everything kind of make it even have a sadder tone because they didn't get another season. Basically, it was right after the 9/11 attacks, and they were making a parody of, like they're trying to take over the plane. Fox News decided not to air that because they're like, dude, this is not cool. Can't be doing that. It's going to be taken the wrong way wholeheartedly and this and that. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know. I think they pulled it off quite well. But, not everyone's going to see that eye to eye, you know? Point being, eventually ends up to where they might get arrested. Oh, what the? Okay. What's this? This mirror, is there something funny about it? Well, it's inside my heart after all. You gotta expect things to be kinda screwed up. Look out, here they come! Here who comes? Like there was nothing there! Oh snap. Oh jeez. Oh man. I'm gonna go water this time. Hopefully everything works out there. But basically at the very end, all his friends and family, they find out that they might have to spend time in jail or send Titus to a mental hospital. And that, like, scares the crap out of him. He's like, I don't want to do that. And I hope my friends don't rat me out and stuff like that. And, like, it turns out they don't want to do that. But they find out later on that, like, hey, you know, it's only going to be 6 months in comparison to like 10 years of incarceration. Oh, geez, 32. Okay, that's not so bad. So, attack her. She's always close. Spread Jim. They definitely don't do as much as you'd think they would have. So, basically, the whole entire series ends off with a picture of him in a straitjacket and it just zooming out, and that's it. That's the end of him being alone in there. And like, you understand wholeheartedly why his family did it, but, well, his family and friends, I should say. But at the same time, it's such a sad way to like see it, because like, that was the ultimate thing that he feared for quite some time, and like he says it in comedy too, like that's what he's afraid of. That his mother's genetics brought onto him insanity as well. And I'm not sure if I mentioned beforehand, but the mother was insane. That was one of the reasons why like his life was so screwed up, because he's constantly getting control of his mother in comparison to his father, which, while his father was neglectful and abusive at times, he did love his kid. He did do the best that he could for him. And he tries to nail this down really hard with the way that he shows the show. What the? What the heck? Damn, mirror. The reflection in the mirror is the darkness in your own heart. Your shadow self endeavors your living flesh. Bishop! The middle path is a single ray of light. There's no turning back. What does that mean? It means if we look in a mirror, we have to fight our alter ego there. And the path that opens up will be one way. Right? Yes, looks like I did the right thing. Karin, sending you, here. Now let me do something to help you. Oh, thank you. This is a sealed field in your heart. To get back, you must break Amon's seal. Come to me whenever you need healing. Thank you, Bishop. Alright, cool. So basically, like, his mother is, like, really, like, messed up, in general, and just doesn't understand reality and whatnot. And every now and again, like, it gets to a point where he feels like, where it feels like they could be a family again, and the mother has, like, an episode, and, like, she does something crazy or something like that. And, there's, like, record reports and everything like that, like, straight up of, like, her killing her lovers and whatnot. Things like that. I'm not sure if it's, like a big thing, but, like, she was crazy, like, legally and utterly crazy. And he had to constantly go, into, third key. Okay, that's fine, whatever. He had to constantly go to, like, court trials and everything when he was younger. So it's just kind of like throughout the show, they paint this sort of picture of just, like, showing Titus grow up to be at least rather functional as a dysfunctional person, but still as, like, someone that fears what could happen. And it always kind of, like, got to me that it was sort of like that, you know? That he just kind of, like, was facing his fears and seeing how things were. And I really felt his fear for, like, going insane, because he saw what happened to his mother. He saw that while it's kind of cutesy that she, like, every now and again, like, be this or that, overall it hurt his family. And to see that at the very end, where the state considers him crazy, it just gets really disheartening at the very end. And, like, I know I'm making it sound like a lot, like, dramatic in comparison to what it is, because largely the show is a comedy show. It addresses certain issues and whatnot, and I like it for that. I like the fact that it does address the issues to a point, and it's still funny. It still works, and it really hasn't dated that much, in all honesty. It certainly shows its age, but it's like it shows the age, but like shows our point of view within that age. Like, there's a gay episode where quote unquote they find out Tommy's gay, but it's not really that Tommy's gay, but his father is, and it just kind of like shows like how bad everything is when it comes to it, you know, because he goes to like a biker gang and whatnot, and oh dang it. Hold on a second. Just kind of look at that for a bit. Basically, just shows like how Tommy had to deal with his father being gay and how like he didn't accept him for being that way and everything like that. But it wasn't because like Tommy was actually mad at his father. It's because like the father was like living a lie and just like bring Tommy's mother into this and whatnot. And I really find it really interesting, a lot of these little episodes that happen. Like, there is, like, a few good episodes out there that do, like, on a very special episode, really, really well. Like straight up well. And, like, I won't deny, it gets pretty dark at times. It really does. So, I wouldn't suggest looking at the show if you're looking for all happy-go-lucky, but, like, you want something like a twist of House of Cards and, like, Fuller House, or, like, Full House, I should say. There you go. That's your in. But yeah, that's just kind of like a way I wanted to like explain why insanity is such like a big thing. Why it's such a scary thought, because like no one goes through it all. That's ridiculous, man. Like, there's no certainty in life except for death and taxes. But when you have this kind of scare of like you might lose your mind, that's scary. And the same thing goes with Alzheimer's, and it goes with just like losing short-term memory loss and whatnot, and amnesia and things like that. That's why it's so fascinating, because not everyone goes through it, not everyone has to relearn things, and it gets to a scary point. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here. Probably should give here like a cure thing or something, right? Yeah, okay, we're good there. So let's try to solve this little area then. Now that I got done with my insanity rant and like how and why it can be scary. It could be scary. I'm not even sure if I did things the correct way. I might not have. I don't know. I just remember there's like 3 mirrors specifically. There we go. Let's get them, boys. Hey, there's 3 of them. Shit. Oh. Not nuts. Not nuts. Stop stabbing me, please. Nah. You know, it's one thing that I always hated was invisible enemies. Mainly because like a lot of times like anime and like TV shows would make that up to like either save on budget or to like explain why people couldn't see monsters like for a while. And it's like, yeah, you wouldn't see the monster, but you would see everything else. Like the damage that it causes, the other person getting hit by the monster, things like that. Doesn't make sense. Like, stop fooling around. Like, I know what's gonna happen, you know? Like, it doesn't make logical sense to me. Stop thinking that making the enemy invisible works. It doesn't. And that's kind of like one of the things that I like about Witchcraft Works. And Witchcraft Works is an anime that I watch, and it has not necessarily invisible enemies, but like invisible charms to like make fights like a certain way, and it has like things to like make certain areas go away. Like they explain why how to say why fights are the way they are and why no one remembers them, and it's like because they go to like a parallel universe where it's like pocket and everyone has amnesia, and then it goes right back to it to where they just kind of like have filled in memories and things like that. And it's like, at least they explain it. It's a small little detail, but it's a detail that I like there. So the exit must be this way. Okay. So the exit's that way. So why let me go this way then? That's kind of dumb. So I guess this is just supposed to be like a little maze area. So what's this little part right here? There's a little save area there. Ah, jeez. So it's just like one of those things that I'm just very glad that Witchcraft Works explains and like helps craft it to be a better story to recommend to people. And like honestly, as much as I do like I'm like actually in love with the main protagonist, it's actually good anime series and everything, and it annoys me that people are just like, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, watch it! Like it's more than just what I tell you it is. It really is. Just believe me. I guess like go every now and again, just like when people don't want to like watch certain things. Cause look, I don't want to sound pretentious, but I watch a lot of shows and I play a lot of games. I know what I'm talking about. I do. I invest way too much time in these kind of things, these little endeavors, to not know it, you know? Like, this is a game that I can recommend people because, like, hey, you know what? It's different. It changes things up. There's a reason to look into this. It's different. There's also a reason why you shouldn't look into, like, Final Fantasy. Not exactly so different. Just saying. But, like, it's like here and there, you know? Like, this I feel like will be a lot easier to sell to people that, like, I don't want to play JRPGs, you know? I want to do this or that or that or this. Let's see here. Like, this is a little more engaging in comparison to, like, Final Fantasy. It still has, like, this nice little darkness to it. And, like, honestly, I would recommend it to anybody that, like, actually likes Dark Souls. Or at least the atmosphere design and the aesthetic design of Dark Souls, because a lot of the enemies, a lot of the ways it looks, very much reminiscent to it, as far as I'm concerned. Have I actually played Dark Souls? Have I played Demon Souls? No, I haven't, but I looked into it, at least a little, to like see the style of it. Personally, I don't like the style of it. I don't. It's odd, right? Like, to not like a certain style that a lot of people like. I find Dark Souls itself to be a little too dark, and I don't want to say serious. I don't want to use that tone, but I guess serious is what I'm getting at. No, I went faster, so that's fine. Hey, Barker Brother, hi. Never seen or heard this game. Interesting. Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. Basically, it's set up in Europe and everything, and how to say. Oh, you know what? I actually go back and play this little thing. Really fun game so far. Basically, a lot of the combat system is very engaging, kind of like Paper Mario-esque, but like there's no defending, which is unfortunate. But largely, I like it a lot. It has a European style to it, and as I was mentioning beforehand, it's kind of like Dark Souls when it comes to like the look and everything. See? Rhythm game. It's a rhythm game. But yeah, I actually heard about this game. When did I hear about it? Oh snap, I don't know. You know where I think it was? I often go on benders to just like look at video games and just like see which ones to catch my interest and whatnot. So what probably happened was that I went on Amazon when I found this game at GameStop, because that's what happened. I found it at GameStop, and I was like, "Hey, this looks kind of cool," because it had the anime girl Karin on there, and I was like, "Oh my God, Karin's a cutie." So, hi, remember me from the Skies Arcadia stream? A little bit. I remember a Baka Baller before. You really like Skies Arcadia, right? As I recall. Yes. I don't remember too much about that, unfortunately, aside from that little bit. And saying Baka Baller. Bakar Buller. Baller? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said something like that beforehand. So yeah, I actually did like Skies Arcadia a lot more than what Fibby regular here constantly suggests that it being this or that. I don't think that's the correct way. Alright. But yeah, I like that a lot. This actually has a lot of little like funny things that happen, kind of like in Skies of Arcadia. But its combat, I would say, is more engaging, while Skies of Arcadia is more like their atmosphere is far brighter and like I feel better explored than this one. But it's only because I don't personally like this style. But at the same time, like it has the same kind of like linear RPG-ness that I need in a game, you know? Although I would have to say that I probably did not start out right, because I should have played the first Shadow Hearts game and not the second. Because I only heard good things about the second Shadow Hearts, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was because I've like watched some sort of Amazon thing or something like that. And I was like, hey, this looks kind of cool. Oh, you're from Norway? Yeah. It's a stupid name. It means baking buns. Oh, dude, I love that. That's nice. Is that how you pronounce it too? Baka Baller? Is that how? I like how it says. Is it a Norwegian name? Like, or, you know, not like name, but like, how to say, like a saying, or a word. Yeah, word, duh. I'm really not so good with this whole entire figuring out what is what. Jeez Louise. There we go.